Have a feeling that Apex Legends isn't going your way, and it might just be because of you? Let's be fair, you're not alone. A lot of us have considered that maybe we are the problem, but usually we go on our merry way thinking that no, of course, it can't just be me. There are other factors involved. I had some lag. You know, this wasn't the character that I wanted. That guy insta-locked my main, so of course, it'll be better next time. I am here to tell you that no, you are the problem. And although you may be the problem, it doesn't mean that you don't have a solution. So as we look at the 5 things that might identify you as the problem in Apex Legends, I'll also be giving my advice on how to correct that issue. A la, here is your issue, here is your tissue, here is your problem, here is your solution. That way, you don't just feel like a piece of crap leaving this video. I mean, you might, but that won't have anything to do with me. All right, the first thing on our list of 5 things that might identify you as the problem is this. You think this video has nothing to do with you. I'll admit it, sometimes I am the problem. I try not to think of myself that way because that's a hard way to go through life, whether you're fighting in a relationship, or you're looking at getting more money, or you're looking at not dying consistently, or closing out that clutch team fight in Apex Legends. Either way, you don't want to live with the concept that you're the reason everything isn't what you want. But the truth may be different. I understand that a lot of people have built up egos nowadays. We're online, we have to have them. And it's a little bit for our protection, and it's a little bit for our own growth. Because I feel like you've got to believe you can be something before you actually are something. It goes hand in hand. And while you have confidence, it sometimes can be a debilitating thing when looking at getting better. And if you are overly confident, if you think this video has nothing to do with you, then that is one of the issues I'd like to address, because it typically is the loudest, most confident, you did something wrong person on the other side of voice comms that actually sucks. Have you ever heard someone on the other side of your voice comm say, "Where the hell were you, man? I just pushed these guys by myself. Yeah, all of these guys, where were you? All 6 of them. Yeah, staring at me. Yes, they had Havocs. Well, if you weren't there, of course I died. We could have 2v6'd them." Listen, we've all heard it, but sometimes this has been us. In fact, you listener, it might have been you blaming somebody else for a mistake you obviously made. This is one of the biggest issues in getting better in video games, not just Apex Legends. It's having an accurate assessment of your own skill and effects of your decisions, which is why I always encourage players to record themselves playing. That way, with objectivity, you can look back at what went wrong and what you did. You might find out that while you pushed someone, you missed all your shots, and if you had just won that 1v1, you would have given your teammate a chance to join you and finish that fight. The point of this one is simple. Be confident and allow yourself to make decisions, but if things don't work out, don't look to point the finger outwards. Look to see what you could have done better and take ownership of that. Chances are, if you are dying constantly and you're blaming other people, then you're also something to do with the issue. It's like somebody who's always like, "It smells in here," but everywhere they go, it smells in there. Maybe you got to turn around and realize you didn't wash your armpits this morning, buddy. So if you always point the finger at somebody else, but you never point it back at yourself, you might be the problem in Apex Legends. The second thing that might identify you as the problem in your Apex Legends games is if you're a leader, but you're following, or if you're a follower, but you're leading. Ugh, can sound harsh. Isn't everyone a leader, Evan? Isn't everybody just so good at everything? Hell no. One of the things about this time and age is that everyone is given a lot of confidence as well. A lot of ego boost, a lot of you can do it, a lot of you're just as good as everyone else. And in many ways, that's true. I mean, from a human value perspective, that's true. But when we talk about playing chess, when we talk about slamming a basketball, right, over 6'8" people, I'm not as good as Magnus Carlsen. I'm not as good as LeBron James, and neither are you. If I were to go into that situation with that same gusto that I got from X or Twitter posts telling me I'm the best thing since sliced bread and act like I should be telling LeBron what to do on the basketball court, we would have a problem. We would be down 359,000 to 0, and then eventually I would lose my contract. It's just not the way things go when you're talking about these specific skills. And guess what? That's amazing. That's what I love about life. That's what gives me so much excitement when I wake up in the morning. What can I get better at? What can I learn from someone else who has already taken these steps and has the experience to teach me? These are things that I think you should hold on to versus I'm automatically as good as someone else. And if you do, and you put yourself in positions where you might need to learn more, but you're leading instead, telling everyone where to go, shot calling, making it feel like they need to follow your lead, but you're not ready for that responsibility in the lobby level that you're at, then you might be the problem. Some people just have those personalities where if someone's silent, if there's no talking in the room, they will fill the space. I happen to be one of them. I actually will fill that space, and it makes it good for when I have to talk all day, whether I'm casting or whether I'm making videos, but not all the time if there's silence and I need to direct people in Apex Legends, which is why I focus a lot on letting other people speak and engage and sometimes lead, because in Apex, I'm not the best leader, but I am a great follower. The same thing applies to if you're a natural born leader or you've put a ton of time into Apex, you watch the LGS, you know about these rotations, and you are a very skilled player. You might be the one who needs to call the shots because of all that you know, but you're letting other people say them and following them, knowing in your heart it's a bad decision. That is also going to identify you as the problem because they don't know any better. But you do. No matter what side of the coin you're on here, here's the most important part of this rule. It's one of the things that I talk about. People ask me questions, how do you improve in life, whether it's Apex, whatever. I focus on self-evaluation. If you can accurately evaluate yourself, you are in such a good spot. And I think you're ahead of 90% of people because we do live in a bit of fantasy at times. So especially in Apex Legends, if you can be honest, you know what, this is the kind of level player I am. I'm not going to say I'm a pred, even though I've gotten pred. I'm probably a plat level player in terms of skill, but I grinded really hard, so I'll put the time in. That's a better way to go about improving than to say, I'm already pred, so there's nowhere else to go. So yeah, I'm at that top level. And then you jump into a lobby with pros for the first time and you die instantly off the rip. If you have bad self-evaluation skills and you often put yourself in roles that don't suit you, a la leading when you're not capable or following when you should be leading and your team is a little less experienced, then you might be the problem. The third thing that might identify you as the problem is you have a major case of tunnel vision. You see something flashy, you see a fight right now, there's nothing in the world that's stopping you from taking it. In many ways, we love this type of person. They're friends of ours. They're family members. They're the first ones out in the water. They're the ones who are trying the food no one has ever eaten before and giving us that disgusting face and saying, this is so bad, you gotta try it. Didn't you just say it was bad? No, thank you. Sometimes that eagerness builds such good team chemistry that having a player like that attitude, that energy, gives you the confidence that you can do anything. But in many ways, if you are this player, the thing you need to worry about is tunnel visioning and not taking a good fight or not putting yourself in a position to do what you actually want to do, which is win an Apex Legends game. Now, back when I first made Apex Legends videos, I used to have this argument in my comment section. I don't know if that's going to be the same thing today when you're watching, but it still could happen. But a lot of people consider that I just want to drop and fight. And I thought, okay, well, don't you want to win? They would go, yeah, I want to win, but I want to fight more. And I said, okay, so if I give you 10 games where you just simply fight, right, and then you die, versus 10 games where you know you're going to play to win, and you'll have fights, I'm sure, because you got to fight somebody to win, but it may not just be rushing at every fight. Which would you rather take? And people would literally say, I'd rather fight and not win. And I just disagree. I don't think they're being honest, because the reality is you can't take every fight in Apex Legends. And even the best players in the world cannot defeat 20 other players shooting at them at the same time, let alone 6 other players shooting at them at the third time. Why do you think third parties are so deadly? But if you win the game, you undoubtedly will have to have a few fights. And even if it's one, isn't it more satisfying to win one good 3v3 to win the whole game versus winning like 1v2 and then dying to the third party that comes up off drop? To me, it's like winning an actual cup or a championship versus scoring 140 points in preseason. It doesn't even compare. Now, if you are the one who is tunnel visioning, always with that eager attitude, don't change. We love that from you. I want you to be that same person, but I want you to add a little bit of a secondary thought. Here's how to improve it. What does this fight do for the next fight I'll have to take? And just leave it there. See, the thing is, if you think a little bit down the line, and this is hard for this type of player, it's like saying someone who is hyperactive to just be patient, right? I mean, if you're hyperactive, you're going to naturally have a difficulty in being a little bit more mellow and patient. But in this case, it is going to be so helpful for you to identify the problem that you're bringing to your lobby and then turn it into your greatest strength, which is now you're aggressive, you're willing to fight, but you're also willing to push back a little bit and say, wait, I want to fight, but let's move in to the high ground here, let these two teams fight, and then we'll fight for that third party, and we'll be in a great spot after that for endgame. One of the biggest things I've learned in life, and it's been a lesson lately for me as well, is learning when to say no. This doesn't just apply to when to take a fight in Apex Legends, it applies to life. We only have so many resources, so much time, and so much energy. So what you say yes to is just as important as what you say no to. And if you learn to say no to the things that aren't going to serve you, whether it's a fight that you know is going to instantly become third party, or maybe it's that party that you were invited to go to, but you know it would throw off your week if you went, and you're working on some other goals for yourself, then learning to have that reality and self-awareness is going to help you so much in the long run. And just on the flip side, if you are the person that is always last into a fight, like no matter what, you are always last, you are always kind of like getting shot at before you shoot, that's also a little bit too passive. So you have to learn to recognize moments. Now, if you're on that other side, where you should get more aggressive and take some chances. The fourth thing that might identify you as the problem in your Apex Legends games is that you are a Mirage main. Now, hold on, Mirage mains, hold on, please. I don't mean any offense. I just used your character as an example. Okay, maybe there is an offense, but I could have said Gibraltar, you know, I could have said, Vantage, maybe? Vantage kind of cooks sometimes, though, I don't know. A jack of all trades, but a master of none is oftentimes better than a master of one. And this is a deep, deep quote because it takes away what we kind of think in our society, whereas a jack of all trades but a master of none is a negative for the jack of all trades. And I see many people focus in a game like Apex Legends when it has 25 legends on one legend that they play. Now, that's not an issue in general. I think it's great, but at certain levels, you're going to get gatekept out of being able to be successful, especially given the way metas change, the way different maps adjust the needs of what your composition needs to do, and more importantly, the composition that your other teammates have picked up heading into this game. A certain composition with a Gibraltar, with a Mirage is fantastic, but if you're playing ranked and you feel like you need support legends in case you need to craft banners, which has been kind of the ranked meta over these last few months, then picking that Mirage when you don't have a support might not be a good choice, and it might mean that you are the problem. Now, here's the reality. If you want to play in solos, TDM, control, go ahead, play whoever you want. But if you want to work well and you want to grind ranked, you want to actually get that Master's badge for the first time this season, you are probably going to have to learn how to play multiple different characters and play characters that fit not only in the meta, but fit with your teammate selections as well. And that means going back to zero sometimes. It means finding things out, figuring things out, getting off that comfort so that you can ultimately go through the uncomfort of not knowing how to play this character, failing, losing, but gaining experience, to then ultimately getting past that to getting it to competency, where you actually do know how to play this character. Well, now you've added another layer of being able to be successful in a different situation, and that makes you a better player. It makes you less of a problem, and it means that you and your teammates are probably on average going to have more success. And just to wrap this point up, I don't think that if you have a singular main or maybe two characters that you know really well and that's it, it's a problem. I actually think many people in Apex Legends have gone that route, and I suggest you do it. But this is something for people who say, I'm stuck, right? I'm at the same level that I've been. I want to improve. I want to get past it. Well, that just may mean picking up a different legend. I've had this happen so many times in my Apex career where I'm playing a certain legend and it just works until gold, and then it stops working. And the second I switch off to a Lifeline, a Conduit, a Maggie, a Fuse, a something else, a Watson, I suddenly start to grind again. I start to rise up. And that's the impact that I'm talking about. Sometimes certain playstyles in different lobbies at different levels will negate some of the characters that you've practiced on and what they're usually good at. And so you've got to read the lobby and you've got to be able to adjust. And yes, turn into that jack of all trades, which in my opinion is definitely better than just a master of one, at least in Apex. Now, there's only one thing left to talk about, but as we recap this video, we mentioned 4 important things so far that I want to bring back to your attention, whether it's keeping your tunnel vision down a notch and instead picking up with awareness when you use your skills and your aggression, or blaming others and instead taking accountability, becoming more versatile and less stuck on one legend as an option, or learning to self-evaluate your skill levels and your leadership and put yourself in the right role, even if it means following someone else. If you've paid attention, this video isn't just about Apex Legends, and you can apply a lot of these things to life, like most of my videos. So if you enjoyed that, please like and consider subscribing, because I'm making more of these as we go. And of course, always interested in what you want to hear about next. Now, the final reason, the final thing thing that might showcase that you are the problem in Apex Legends is you expect the lobby to match your skill level and that you don't need to match the lobby. This means that if you're blaming skill-based matchmaking for not giving you a matchup that lets you win the game, you are in the wrong. It means that if you are blaming life for putting you in a situation that you are not ready for, you are in the wrong. If it means that you are looking at any of those situations as bad situations, you are also in the wrong. And here's why. Because life is giving you an opportunity. It's giving you a possibility. It's saying this level is reserved for people operating in this way. If you want to be a master in Apex Legends, you're going to have to put some time in. You're not just going to be a master. And it's not just grinding. It's not hours. Maybe it's dedication. Maybe it's learning with a coach specifically how to improve certain things. Maybe it is self-evaluation on how you can get better. And taking those pain points, turning them into strengths, or taking your strengths and doubling down on them, getting even more successful at the things you already have an affinity for. In my life, I have been hit. I have been beaten down, whether it's in sports, whether it's in business, or whether it's even in YouTube. There have been times where I've been shown to my face and told, I'm not good enough right now. And that was the reality of the moment. But there's no sbmm to blame for me. There's no sbmm to carry on in your life. I know you might try it. I know it might feel good in the moment and people might say, yeah, you're right. But what does that do for you? It doesn't get you where you want to go because at the end of the day, you want to be in that master's lobby. You want to be the pred. So that's not going to help you. Then let's not pay attention to it. The reality is these pros, most of them are not cheating. They have just put insane amounts of time and strategy and thought into becoming the best. And then they're in a system that allows them to continually train against the best so that they get better. That is why people excel. If you want to put yourself in that position, then you have to immediately change the way you think about hard things. If something is too hard, it's an opportunity for you to look at where you can improve so that you can match that level. It doesn't mean that you'll do it instantly, but it does mean it'll let you know where you are. And it'll also give you a great piece of information. Do I really want to do that? Do I really want to become a pred? Do I want to be at a pro level? Because look at all the work it's going to take for me to get there. And that just ain't worth it because I've got other things that I care about. I had to make this decision when I was looking to get drafted into the MLS, and I needed the junior year to be the year where I started popping off at college. And I would put myself in situations where people would know I'm coming for them. I'm starting, I'm getting playing time. I'm at practice 30 minutes before anybody else shows up. The gates are locked and I'm still in there because I climbed through them, threw the balls over and started taking shots myself. Just so in their mind, they would know I am not relenting. If you want this from me, you will have to take it. And you know what? If you have that mentality and you don't have the mentality of, well, I'll just show up to practice and hopefully coach will finally see that I'm worth it. Hopefully these lobbies will finally ease up and I'll finally get a kill and a win. If you take the mentality of, I'm getting a win, this lobby better watch out. No matter what, eventually you will find success and it will come to you. People get out of the way when you get clear about what you want. Remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.